Britain.
Evening, gang. It's Sunday night, Sunday the 1st of August 2021. A pinch and a punch. There's a camp. That's quite camping. Mark Bowles wouldn't punch like that. No, he would not punch like that. A pinch and a punch. A little gay. That's a gay one, isn't it, darling? For us people, you know. For the gays, we do little punches like that. Yes, a pinch and a punch. It's the first day of the month, 1st of August 2021. Very good evening to you, gang, and welcome to tonight's United Kingdom Talk back in Bracknell in Royal Berkshire. Hope you're well today. We had biblical rain last night. Biblical rain. I love it. But do you like biblical rain? It was, what time was that? It was about 8 o'clock last night. Biblical rain. Yeah, I went swimming yesterday, done a few bits about the house. I haven't done my washing yet, actually, the washing from the caravan. I bring it all home, and usually it goes in, I don't do it at night, I do it during the daytime the next day, hang it out or whatever. But it was just rain forecast all yesterday, and we had rain on and off all day today, so it's still sitting there in the bag. There's been about 3 loads of washing to do at the moment. But I like to do it and then hang it out, and then half an hour later you can usually bring it in if it's hot enough. I think we've got some more hot weather coming. Here in the UK, I know that for a fact because I heard Danny Davis's excellent weather forecast on his little radio show earlier, didn't we? We had a weather forecast on there. Hot plumes of air from Africa are coming over here in a couple of weeks' time, I think it is. So we got that to look forward to. So I haven't done the washing yet, and last night I went out for a little nighttime bike ride because I found myself falling behind with time. And the reason is, usually on a Saturday, if I remember rightly, you can't get an 11:30 swim. It's like 12:30, and then by the time then it's 1:30. You get back here at 2 o'clock, had lunch, and it's 3. Do you know what I mean? So I had my little sleep, and then I went into town afterwards. Nighttime ride last night. It's not exactly nighttime. It's still light at night at the moment. That's quite nice. You know, driving around in the sort of dusk with little flashing lights on. Flash, 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 flash. I've got this special seat, actually, really soft seat for my fat arse. You know, it's a lovely soft seat that actually DJ Chris gave me, who you saw on Saturday night, of course. He's over the moon with Diane Jebb. Diane Jebb, she sends him lovely little messages. He was saying to me on the phone earlier this morning, he said, I must be quite good. No one else gets any messages, he says to me. No one else gets any messages when they're doing the karaoke. He loves it. Don't worry, if you send messages, I go over and tell the person. Wasn't there someone else? Oh, Maureen, of course, who got a couple of messages as well from, I think it was Diane Jebb again, wasn't it? Penny Arcade. You like that one, don't you, Diane? I assume Diane's with us. I haven't looked at the messages yet. Good evening. Diane's always here, darling. Diane's always here. So that was quite nice. The karaoke was very good Friday. Very good. Very good. It should have been upstairs, all right? Oh, don't even go there. Don't even go there. Now, listen, when I'm given a job, I'm on it. Seriously, I'm straight on it. Okay? This is what happened last week. They said, we're upstairs next week. Oh, are you sure? I thought it was the next week. No, definitely next week. Okay, so that was the Friday last week, okay? Or the week before last, depending on how you look at it. Okay, so that's Friday. On the Saturday morning, I'm in here. I'm on it. Designing a little poster, not in here, but up at our Lincolnshire television studio and radio complex. I'm straight in the office, dear, making a poster, and that's it. I went out to all the karaoke groups, all over Facebook, on the Twitter, on some of the gay groups as well. They went on all of those, and that's it. And I just left it like that, right? And then Friday morning, I did the radio show, okay? And straight after the radio show, I reposted that poster and over all those groups again, and that was it. I thought no more about it. And I kid you not, about 15 minutes later, I got this phone call. Oh, we're not upstairs today. What do you mean? It's next week. Not my fault. I said, you must be joking. He said, no. He said, someone's got the date wrong. I said, I've told everyone now. They're going to be disappointed. He said, well, sorry, what else can we do? There's something else is happening downstairs next week. Now, the upstairs thing is not a permanent thing at the moment. There are sound issues, I've told you before. I actually, at this point, I don't mind whether it's upstairs or downstairs, to be honest. They both have the benefits. The benefits of being downstairs, of course, when we're doing the karaoke night, it's in a basement and you can turn it right up. Right up. Okay? No problem. But, you know, smaller stage. A smaller stage. Well, there are new lights down there. The sound system's fantastic down there. All new sound, new mixer, everything is new. And it works very well, right? Going upstairs, however, you have the big windows around you. You have a much larger stage. The lights are relatively new. The only thing up there is the sound system is a bit antiquated. However, it works perfectly all right. But we can't really turn it up that loud. I have to really watch the volume upstairs. And I know what's going to happen when we go upstairs next week. I'm sure someone will say you're going to have to turn it down. And then you have singers up there. It's like, oh, I can't hear myself. I can't hear myself. It's a bit like that, really. So it's a double-edged sword, really. I don't know if I prefer it up or downstairs. But anyway, so the date was given to me wrong. And I thought, oh, you must be joking. So very quickly, and I really don't need extra work on a Friday morning, because I have such a short space of time to get everything ready to leave, you know, and go down to London. Anyway, so I cobbled together this other poster. I used one of the old posters, took bits off it and added bits and changed a few bits and quickly shot that off to all the groups again with a little apology on there. And that seemed to work. And then, as luck would have it, Friday afternoon came. I left the caravan at 2:30. I got to the pub bang on 6:30, and that's an interesting thing. You see, my sat-nav told me I would be there at 5:30. I thought, oh, that's going to be a quick one today. I actually arrived at 6:30, you know. So it's always a good idea to build in that extra bit of time there, just in case you get stuck. Oddly enough, I didn't really get stuck anywhere. We were moving all the time. There was no queue of traffic, really. A little bit through London, but there's not much of London to go through coming in from the north to get to Central Station. But I got there at 6:30, and upstairs there were a few people I haven't seen for some time who were, of course, expecting it upstairs. They'd already been told a mistake had been made, and no one complained. No one complained. They were quite happy, actually. Quite happy. I think people don't realise that the actual air system downstairs is very good. You can't see it, but next to the bar, if you're standing at the bar, anyone who comes, stand at the bar, right? Stand right at the bar. Now. Look to the left. There's a blooming great big fan there, whirring around, and there's another one in the room behind it, which has got kind of curtains. So I don't know if that's actually very effective. Also, we had the door open most of the night, you know, so there's a really good airflow coming through there. Possibly better than it is actually upstairs, to be honest, because upstairs we don't really have much. Not really. There is an extraction system down there, and that's what it's all about, keeping the airflow coming and all that business. Anyway, so we did the karaoke, very good, and I was told next week's karaoke will be upstairs in the main bar. So fingers crossed that'll happen. Up or down, it's pretty irrelevant to me. I don't know what you prefer, but I don't know what I prefer. Each one has its own benefits, you know, but hopefully it'll be upstairs next week, or anyone who's coming along to the karaoke. So that's that. Finished that, came back here, dreadfully tired always on a Friday night. Went to bed, had a damn good sleep. Saturday got up, had my breakfast, went swimming, came back here, and it's all been quite nice. Today I cancelled my swimming this morning because I did the church thing. I do an internet church thing in the morning. And then I jumped in my car because it's my mum's birthday today. And I think she would have been 89 or 90. Do you know, is it a bad thing not knowing your parents' age? It's either 89 or 90, my mum's birthday day. So I jumped in the car and went down to the grave. I didn't bring any gardening things other than a trowel, really, because I think I only just done the plants a few weeks ago. That being said, most of them are okay. Some of them have been eaten alive, of course, by whatever. You know, it's just these stalks sticking up. But most importantly, my mum's favourite flowers, the busy lizzies, all seem to have survived perfectly well. And they're blooming sort of little pink flowers and things like that. and it's all very nice. My mum and father are buried at Putney Vale Crematorium in southwest London, and I find great peace sitting there. I usually sit on the person's grave next to them. I'm sure they don't mind. I have a little bit of a chat there. And on her birthday, I always take a cake down. And here is a picture of the said cake. That was taken around about, around about 12 o'clock this afternoon. There we go. That's a cake. That one came from Aldi. Usually, I'll get something a little bit more than that. But as time ran away yesterday, I thought, I do need to get a cake. So I ended up going to Aldi last night and getting a few little bits and pieces. But there we are. You see, I've got a cup of tea, a plate, and a cake. And I promise I'm not lying here. I had a very small slice of that. Very small slice of that because I was coming back here and had a campfire stew, which I was doing in the slow cooker, which is a very, very spicy thing, very spicy. Lots of chilli, lots of garlic, paprika, Frank's hot sauce, Liam Parent. It's really hot. According to my nephew's wife's mother, which I gave her some out of the kindness of my heart. Apparently, it was too tangy. Too tangy. Well, that's the idea of a bleeding thing, dear. Tangy, dear. We like tangy. We don't like bland. We like tangy, like like talk radio. That's tangy. BBC is bland. Talk radio is tangy. So she didn't like it. It was too tangy, apparently. Anyway, I had one of those on the go. So when I got here, I had some of that, and that was very, very delicious. But that's not the only cake. Oh, no. I got presents. I got presents on Friday at the karaoke from Maureen. Yes, she bought me a lavender plant. A great big bar of chocolate like that, which, dare I say, went quickly within 2 minutes. It doesn't take me long to eat it, but please don't bring any more chocolate in, Maureen. It's deadly. I can't restrict myself. Can't restrict myself. My sister would come out with something. Why don't you have just a couple of them and then put it away for later? Not possible, I'm afraid. You haven't got the wheel part correct. Next point. I ate the whole thing. Shocking. And I must say I felt a little bit ill on the way home. I don't think I should have had that chocolate at that time of night, but I did. Not only the plant or the chocolate, but also she bought me in a chocolate cake. Not quite sure where it came from. Now, that was on Friday, so Friday night, so it got back here Saturday, and here's what's left so far. This is the delightful chocolate cake that Maureen bought me. There didn't seem to be much left. My God, the chocolate, look how thick that chocolate is on there. Look how thick that is. Oh, it's lovely. Now, I don't know where that came from, actually. It makes no difference. It was absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. So if Maureen's with us today, thank you very much. I expect you're sending in messages, aren't you? If you're in the chat box, by the way, gang, I'm not in the chat box, okay? If you'd like to join into the show today, please either send a text 07451 287 337. That's my local text number, my general text number. It's not a premium rate number. You won't get any like £2.50 charges. Just a normal text like texting your friends. Or you can send an email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. A little bit later on, we'll probably open up the phone line, okay? I'm starting to wonder if the phone line is a bit pointless because not really many people ring, but I expect we'll open up a little bit later on. So that's how to contact me on the show today, and I'll come to your messages in a minute. So once again, thanks very much to Maureen for my 3 lovely gifts. That last piece of chocolate cake will probably go tomorrow. It won't go tonight. I've literally just had a piece. Yes, I just had a piece around about 7:30 with a cup of tea downstairs. I was watching the telly. I was watching Alex Belfield. Do you ever watch him? On YouTube. He reckons Andrew Neil has now left GB News. It's all going a bit wrong there, isn't it? I can't see that surviving somehow. We all had such high hopes with that channel. We'll see. Nigel's on there now, isn't it? Our mate Nigel's on there at the moment. Nigel Farrell. Oh, Christ. I forgot his name. Nigel Farrell. Nigel's on there at the moment, and he's doing very well at the 7 o'clock slot. But who else? It's a bit wishy-washy in the afternoon. I think if Simon McCoy, if he leaves, that's it. He's like the last Well, Nigel's a big name, isn't he? But like, as in big qualified news people, it's Simon McCoy. I think if he goes, I don't see much hope for it, but we'll see what happens. All right, okay, let's read some of your messages. Once again, if you want to send us a message, send us an email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, or you can send a text, 07451 287 337. Hi to George Bond, who says, oh, hi, Chris. My sister moved into the house with 2 weeks, and next door neighbour kept batteries in his shed. You know, when I was electric bike batteries and it was on charge, it caught fire and he tried to put it out with a hose pipe. Also, the person is asthmatic as well. Well, he's gone to hospital, but my sister's house is ruined because my other sister left her car here because we had a barbecue yesterday day and the house is smoke damaged, water damaged, and they kicked the door because there's a car outside to make sure there's no one there. And yeah, the fire brigade boots got the ruined the floor as well. Thank you, George. Evening to... I think you need to sentence that up a little bit, George. It didn't. From what I gather, you had a fire. Would that be right? You had some sort of fire there. Good evening to Vera. Vera in London. Evening to you, Vera. Vera, very, oh, she might not even want me to tell you this, but I'm going to. She very, very kindly gave me a crisp £5 note to give to great niece Evie as a thank you for doing the jingle for her. How nice is that? So thank you for that, Vera. Vera, I have to tell you that Evie wants the actual £5 note given to me, which is in my bag. So that will go up to her when I go back in, I think it's 3 weeks. What have I got this week? I've got to do something this week, haven't I? Hang on a minute. Oh, it's August, isn't it? August. January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Oh, 8 months of the year we're in now. Have I got something this week? Friday. Oh, no, I've got nothing on this week. Now, you see, I could have gone back this week when I think about it. Oh, well, I'm not now, so... And then the next week, yeah, I got an appointment on the Friday. And then next week, I got an appointment on the Thursday. So I've got quite a lot to do at the moment. So I won't be up there now for 3 weeks. But mark my words, she will get that crisp £5 note that you gave me, my darling. I will do a little video of her, perhaps an acceptance speech as well. An acceptance speech. She's sorry, that's her first ever paid job, Vera. Okay? Not that she asked for any money. It's very kind of you to give her wages. They are wages. That will be her first ever paid job. Well done. You remember that, Vera? Her first ever paid job. Thank you, Vera. Vera says, I used to work with a photographer who worked for the police taking pictures of dead bodies. I saw the picture he still had. Not very nice, he said. No, I shouldn't think they were. And I'm glad you mentioned that because that brings us on to our first story today, which is in the Daily Star. And it's about this lady, a mortuary technologist. I suppose it sounds better than person that cuts up dead bodies, doesn't it? A mortuary technologist. You got all these different jobs now with like different names. What's them? I'm just trying to think of the dustmen. What are they called now? Disposal operatives or something like that. They come out with these stupid names, don't they? And if you work in Sainsbury's, you are till operative or something like that. Big names they put. Anyway, a mortuary technologist had described what her career is like and how she got into the industry. Now, how do you feel doing... Sorry, you know, that's awful, isn't it? Bringing up that after a picture of my mum's grave. I'm sorry. I should have split those two stories up now that I think about it. Oh dear. Anyway, it's done now. Yes, let's bring up that photo again. A mortuary technologist has described what her career is like and how she got into the industry. It says, while most children dream of becoming astronauts or sports stars, this lady has known, Alexandra, that she wanted to become a mortuary technologist since she was just 11 years old. Now, is that a job for you? How do you fancy going up and cutting up dead people and seeing what went wrong with them? Is that... What do you think? Now, it looks to me like he's been shot. I don't know. She's measuring that. Now, I have to tell you, when I was looking for a picture of a mortuary, there were some awful pictures. Awful pictures, you know. And I thought they're just too much to put up there, because children are always flicking through YouTube and all that, aren't they? You want to go around, I told you my nephew's house, if Evie's got hold of the remote control, you don't see any more than 20 seconds of a video. You just get again, and it changes again. Oh, leave it on, please. It's not just her. Loads of these children, there's no sense of staying. What's that word? Staying power. You know what I mean. There's no wanting to stay with anything for more than 20 seconds. I saw this happening with music over the years. I used to be in the night. I was a 90s DJ. I think 90s and 2000s. I was mainly I was 80s, 90s, 2000s. That was my DJ with the biggest time in the 90s, I think. And I used to mix records, remixes. These remixes would be 5, 6, 7 minutes long, 8 minutes long, some of them. You remember that song Pride, Deeper Love, Pride, ever so long. And people would dance to the whole song. They wouldn't get bored of it. And then as time went on, I found people coming up and saying, "Oh, have you got the original one we've heard on the radio?" Right? And you were then restricted to playing songs that were like 3.5 minutes long. But even then, you put on a record, "Oh, thanks very much." They go and dance for 20 seconds and they come back to you and say, "What's the next one?" "Well, can't you wait?" "Why, can't you tell me what it is?" I said, "I don't know yet. I haven't decided yet." "Oh, well, can I choose one?" "Not really, no." And it got like that. Seriously. That longitude of staying with something. People are a bit like that with television programmes as well, aren't they? They flick through. They don't want to watch that opening bit. I know a lot of people, when, for example, on Netflix, you might be watching a TV series, I don't know, Merlin, okay? And then you start it and it says that the opening titles come on. It says, skip this bit. And people just skip it. They're not interested in that bit. Not interested in that bit or the bit at the end. To me, that bit of music and the titles... Why is this not happening tonight? Just a minute. Is that working? It's going up and down, but there's nothing coming out. Hang on. What's going on here? Are you working? Unless it's cool in here. Strange, isn't it? What was I saying? Yes, the titles and the music at the beginning of a TV programme, film, whatever, to me that's part of it. And the same as at the other end when the programme is finished and the credits come up. That to me is part of watching the programme. But they can't wait to turn it off and put another thing on. Like the boredom levels are just gone. God knows how any of you sit here and watch this. That's why the numbers are so low. See, if I wanted to change this drastically now, probably wouldn't work. One of the reasons being, you're used to me doing this, okay? I would have to set up a completely new channel and start all over again. I don't know, 2-minute videos of spiel or something like that. I don't think... it wouldn't work if I did it on this channel. I really don't think so. You wouldn't attract... You may well stay, but you wouldn't attract anyone else because people have already decided they don't like this, you see? So they're not going to come back again. You'd have to start a completely new channel. Not even like a channel within the channels. Like a completely new YouTube and start all over again. But on the other hand, something like that, it might suddenly pick up very quickly. You watch most of the videos, they're no longer than about 10 minutes. Lots of videos on YouTube, 2-3 minutes long. Maybe that's the way to go. But you see, I'm quite happy sitting here doing it like this. And if you're not getting paid or anything like that, then you just do what makes you happy, don't you? But what about this mortuary? Would you like to work in a mortuary, cutting up dead bodies, things like that? The Daily Star says, this lady wanted to be a mortuary technician since she was 11 years old. I mean, there's some strange people in this world, isn't there? I mean, look at me. It seems like a strange career choice for most people, especially at such a young age, but it became Alexandria's dream job after she watched a documentary on television that performed a live post-mortem examination, reports the Daily Mirror. I remember the day vividly. I was 11 years old and I was asked by my mum if I wanted to watch this documentary on television, which was actually the first live televised post-mortem examination. I was completely fascinated with the anatomical processes, and afterwards I knew then that's what I wanted to do when I grew up. My mum couldn't believe it, said the lady. If you're not sure what a post-mortem examination is, it basically determines two things: how someone has died and if there is any suggestions of third-party involvement in their death. You know, I mean, so if you had a partner or something and that partner suddenly died, they might take it in for a post-mortem and they'd cut her up and, oh, there's one of your false teeth stuck in their neck. Must have been you then, mustn't it? It's normally carried out by the anatomical pathology technologist, which this lady is, and the pathologist who will look over the identification and the circumstances of the death. And that's it. Alexandra said, once I've removed everything, it's then up the pathologist to dissect the organs and conclude a cause of death. Your organs are dissected. Well, why let them waste? Why let them waste? You know, why waste them? Yeah, if you're going to dissect them, then you might as well, after you finish doing that, chop them up and give them to a dog or something, mightn't you? Terrible waste in this game. You know I don't like waste. Terrible, terrible waste, dear. Everything then gets placed back in the patient. Yeah, of course it does, darling. Come on. If any of these mortuarists have got... what are they called? What's she called again? Was it... Hang on a minute. Any of these mortuary technologists, you know, maybe they got a cat or a dog at home. You know, you're going to take home the odd liver, aren't you? Or the odd kidney. Of course you are. You put it in your handbag. Who's going to notice? Who's going to look in? Who searches bags of people after they leave a mortuary? I ask you that. Surely not. Who's going to suspect you of carrying a pair of testicles or a lung in your little plastic bag in your handbag? Yes. You get home, chop, 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 chop. Here, Fido. Why waste it? And then you get to live on. Because a bit of you becomes part of that dog, cat, mouse, whatever, rat. Oh dear. So she says that everything gets placed back in the patient, and they are carefully reconstructed and washed down by myself, then placed into clean linen and back in the fridge. So that's what they do. And the whole process, she says, it only takes an hour. It takes an hour, she says it. The whole process can roughly take an hour, but it usually depends on the complexity of the case. It's not always easy, though. A job like this can be difficult at times. She recalls some tough moments, like with certain patients and their families, that will stick with me forever. I mean, you know, having to post-mortem a child, I would imagine that'd be very difficult. Well, I mean, anyone really, but in particular a child. So you got a little... It doesn't bear thinking about, really, does it? A little 5-year-old child on the table, and you've got to find out how they... Oh, it's just... I can't think of that. There's like a mental block in my head that's stopping me from seeing something like that. It just... You know, you hear these stories about firemen, don't you? And they find small people just burnt out. The lady goes on to say, sometimes it's a specific traumatic death where it leaves you with a sinking pit in your stomach, or a family who you deeply connect with when you're trying to support and comfort them. I tend to find extreme suicides are the worst, because you can never imagine what the person must have gone through in the events leading up to the end of their life. The desperation is saddening, and of course we all hear of people committing suicide and all that, don't we? Perhaps it's happened somewhere in your life to someone, you know, maybe a friend or even a member of the family. I'm always quite surprised about people, and they kind of brush off as suicide. And, oh, well, they took the easy way out. You must be joking. How difficult must it be to kill yourself? I couldn't do it. I mean, if I could, I'd do it here and now to get more viewers. But do you see what I mean? I don't understand how people, oh, took the easy way. Are you for real? And then all these people go on about themselves rather than the person who's just died. I've heard that several times. Someone's just, I don't know, Mary has just died down the road. Little Mary has just died and found, were you with her when you died? Oh, you don't know what we went through to watch her die. We never want to see that again. Absolutely no respect whatsoever for the person that's just died. Dreadful. Dreadful. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable what some people will say. And even if you thought that, you wouldn't say it, would you? A lot of people just speak up, don't they? They speak up. How can you even say... I've heard that several times from several different people, that one. Oh, it was terrible watching them die. Why are you even telling us that? They didn't have a good death, no. That's enough. Oh, what we went through. Oh, my heart bleeds for you. What about them? They're dead. Dreadful. And it goes on. She says, on a less serious note, Alexandra revealed that when carrying out a post-mortem, you can find all the tools you need in a typical kitchen. There you go. Set up your own little post-mortem place. You've got a little kitchen table there you can spare. Something like that available. Huh? Well, why not make it a family thing here? I invite the kids over. Sunday afternoon post-mortem. Just pop into the local hospital. You got any bodies we can have today, please? Back to your kitchen and start cutting away. What would you need? Knives, a forks, so one fork. So you cut the thing open, I suppose, then one fork one side and then pull it across like that. And then scoop something out with a ladle. I don't know how it works. I mean, you wouldn't need a food mixer, would you? You wouldn't need something like that to go into a chest or a pair of buttocks. She says we use ladles. Yeah, so I told you that. We use ladles, jugs, sponges, knives, scissors, to name but a few. However, we do have some specialist equipment such as rib shears, what sounds vile, oscillating saws, and suturing needles and threads. The equipment used hasn't actually changed in that many years. She said it's not easy to get into something like that. You've got to stand out from the crowd. Well, I don't know. Oh, dear. How does it usually work in a mortuary? Well, it normally involves processing patient admissions from overnight, checking identification, property and condition of the patient. She says it's never a slow day. She never finds herself clock watching. She has to do up to 6 post-mortems a day, as well as a heavy amount of paperwork. You imagine the paperwork, can't you? And, of course, the cleaning. They do all that themselves. All the mess, dear. You'd get one of those vaxes, wouldn't you? Clear out. You couldn't use just a normal Hoover. Vax. Normal Hoover would blow up, with all the blood and all that, and the liquids on the floor. Liquids. She says the days go very quickly when you have over 100 patients in your care. It's a very mental and physical job and constantly keeps me on my toes. Despite the ups and downs of her job, she wants her people to know that it's a very rewarding career and that she always leaves work feeling that she's achieved something. Now, going slightly different from what I was saying, can't be very pleasant. And I suppose... going back to when children have something terrible happen and they end up in a mortuary, having to deal with with parents. I mean, what do you say? And then on the other end, perhaps someone has died and perhaps they think this and this has happened, but actually what happened was a natural cause. And I think maybe if you was told that, you might sort of lift the burden slightly on the family of the person who's died. You know what I mean? Not a job for me. What about you? Do you fancy doing a job like that? Who wants to cut people up? Come on. Answers, hands up, everyone. Evening to Diane Jeb. There's our Diane. Evening, Diane. Hello to Paul in Cornwall. Evening. Oh, he's in Devon. Devon. All having a good weekend. There is the delightful Shania Steele. Good evening to you, Shania. Evening, Shania. Hello to little Charlie Ray. Evening, Charlie. Charlie is in the house. How's your mum now? Has she recovered from COVID injections? No, sorry, from coronavirus. Has she now recovered, Charlie? Charlie's been looking after his mum, haven't you, Charlie? Evening to Jason Hughes. Hello to Vectis. Simon. Simon is it? Well, I'm going to rename you now, Simon, actually. I hope you don't mind, Simon. I'm sure you understand. In fact, I'll just change your name on here now. Let me just change your name on here. Just a moment. Settings. Where are we? Select. Oh, where? How do I edit? Edit. Just a minute. Edit. No. Edit. 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 Oh, editing name. Right, Simon. Oh, no, hang on. Edit. We're renaming you Simon now. Simon Humpty. Saving and saved, baby. Yeah. You are now known as Simon. Thank you very much. Nothing wrong with that, dear. It's a nice name, Simon. It's got sort of a large sound to it, hasn't it, Simon? Like a... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm not... Oh, I put my foot in it again, haven't I? I don't mean to do that. It just seems to happen. Just seems to happen. Anyway, Simon says, went to church this morning. Pfft, well, about time as well. Oh, dear me. I'm surprised you didn't burst into flames. Hi, Chris. Went to church this morning. Was nice to have a sing-song after a long time. Sing a song. Oh, we had on the wheel last night... Ba-ba-ba, the wheel. One of the subjects was hymns. I mean, how thick were they? Cow blimey. I've got that saved for tomorrow. I suppose I could do it tomorrow as well, couldn't I? No, because we have a crossover of audience. No, I'll leave it till tomorrow. But we had hymns, and there was a couple of hymn questions. I cannot believe they didn't know the answer to the first one. That's all I'm saying. Unbelievable. Anyway, that's for the radio show tomorrow morning, okay? What did you say? What hymns did you sing? What hymns did you sing? See, you're back in Berkshire. Did you tow your caravan down from Lincolnshire and park it on your council estate? No, we don't tow those caravans, dear. They're static. They don't move. Static caravan. You've got loads on the Isle of Wight, haven't you, static caravans? I'm sure you got loads of them there. Evening to Andy. Andy, good evening to you. Nice to see you. To see you nice. Hello to you, Andy. Okay. Is that all our messages so far? That's all our messages so far. Let me just clear those down and make some room. One moment, please. There we go. Clear those down and make some room. Once again, gang, if you're in the chat box, I'm not in the chat box. To join into the show, please send an email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, or you can send a text. 07451 287 337 is my text number. Thank you very much to Vera for advising me last week, because I did tell you I was going to chuck that. Well, I did chuck the clock away. You know, the flip over clock at our Lincolnshire television studio and radio super hub complex. I did put that in the bin, and then Vera said, "Don't chuck it away. I've looked them up." She said they are quite pricey, flip over clocks. So I have now retrieved it from the bin. Fortunately, there was nothing on top of it because I've only just put it in there when you sent the email to me. And I've given it to my nephew to have a go at. Okay, so I think he's going to have a go at that. Wouldn't surprise me if it ends up as a video on his excellent video channel, The Project Man. Because Gary Butler is, of course, head of all of YouTube. Did you know that? No. He's in charge of everyone else. He's in charge of Alex, me, his dad. Everyone is in charge of. Okay, all right. So I don't know if he's going to be able to fix my tikker tokker, but he's going to have a go. Okay. Shania's just texting in there. Someone else I know was very generous with a £5 over 2 years ago. Oh, God, not that £5 again. Give it a rest, Shania. Give it a rest. Just touching on internet radio stations, apart from Reach on Air, has anyone listened to any other internet radio stations that sound the sort of place where I'm not going anywhere, don't worry, I'm staying where I am. But someone like me who does the same sort of thing, likes a bit of a chat between the records, can you suggest any other internet radio stations that might be suitable for such a person? Because someone is looking around at the moment. I mentioned Reach, but whenever I look at Reach on air, the schedule is just so packed, unless you want something like 4 o'clock in the morning, which is always available. So I don't know anyone else who knows some internet radio stations that do the same sort of thing as us and are sort of fairly well run. There's a lot of bedroom radio stations out there, and they're just a total disaster. Total disaster. So anyone who's got any suggestions there, do let us know. I've been dipping in and out of the Olympics. We seem to be doing quite well, don't we, with the old Olympics? But judo. You can't make this up, really. Judo in the Daily Mirror. 2 Georgian judo athletes have been expelled from the Tokyo Olympics after going sightseeing. I mean, you can kind of understand it, can't you? I mean, you're in another country. You're in a little room, I suppose, until it's your turn to compete. Then you go out, run round a track, and then go back to your room again. You would want to go out and have a look around, wouldn't you? I know there's a pandemic on, right? But we got the masks, and we got the little facing, rubbing hands stuff, and that sort of thing. You would want to go out if you were from another country. Well, this one did, and they've now been expelled. Naughty! Naughty! We'll have to get Mandy Davenport out. Mandy! Mandy! Are you there, Mandy? Why expel them when you can just cane them? That's what I want to know, you know. Just cane them. No problem at all, is it? Just give them a good lashing. That's what I say. A spokesman for the country's Olympic Committee, Masa Takaya, revealed an athlete violated the don't you like that when you get that from YouTube or Facebook? You have violated our terms and conditions. Oh, please do us a favour. Who are these tech companies telling us what to do and what to say all the time, aren't they? A spokesman for the country's Olympic Committee, Masatayaka, revealed an athlete violated the COVID-19 protocols in place and they have been stripped of their credentials. Stripped! They have been stripped and whipped really hard. Oh, yeah, baby. Whip me. Hit me with your rhythm stick. Hit me. Hit me. Yeah, that one. Takaya said, all I can say is the person left the Olympic Village for sightseeing and accreditation were deprived. What? Funny choice of words. I can't give you any more than that. I can't give you everything but my love. That one. Although he did add, leaving the village for the purpose of sightseeing, that is something not to be tolerated. Well, he only wanted to go around and see a few. I mean, what have you got in Tokyo for people to go and see? Haven't you got those shops there where they have wonderful new technology? Or is that Hong Kong? There's one. I think that's Hong Kong. Which is the country that has the technology first? No, I think it is Japan. It's either Japan or Hong Kong, isn't it? They literally have roads with technology shops, bit like well, there's a road in London like that, isn't it? Tottenham Court Road, like video shops and things like that. Wonderful, oh, wonderful things, dear, wonderful. So they've been kicked out. Naughty. They were spotted on Tuesday taking photos with people in their official uniforms near Tokyo Tower. According to the AFP news agency, via yahoo.com, the Georgian pair left the athletes' compound to visit one of their good acquaintances. Oh, they probably went out for a bit of how's your father, don't you think, dear? When they went outside the village, no one stopped them at the exit, so they thought they could go outside. They just wanted to have a bit of open air to relax after a tough day of competition, after a tough lockdown period. The incident marks the first time Olympic athletes have been ejeculated from the Tokyo Games since it began. The rules known as the playbook state that you must only leave your accommodation to go to official games venues and limited additional locations that you have outlined in your activity plan, as defined by the list of permitted destinations. We seem to be entering a world here where people want to tell us what to do all the time. Don't you find that? You can do that, you can't do that, you can't do that. I can't stand it. People who want to tell you what to do. Oh, you can't, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Carl, give it a bleeding rest, will you? Anyway, they've been ejaculated from the Tokyo Olympics. Bad news, isn't it? Hello to Lily. Good evening, Lily. Welcome along to Lily. Hope you're well, young Lily. Keep smiling, my darling. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the bluebirds do start to drive the dark clouds far away. Vera Lynn, that was Lily. She was very big in war times, you know, even before me, the war times. What else have we got here? Talking of dead people and mortuaries and things like and organs, that sort of thing, brings us on to this nicely to this next story in the Daily Mirror this week, and it says every day of the last 10 years has been a blessing for Sophie Clark. She was 17 when she became one of Britain's youngest double lung transplant recipients after doctors gave her just a couple of months to live. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, we can do that now. The sad thing is, of course, someone's got to die for you to have those organs. But she's been 10 years. 10 extra years she's had so far. So to mark a decade she thought she might never see, Sophie's now challenging herself to 10 charity fundraisers. She wants to raise 10 grand for the hospital that saved her life. She's 26 now, says, I've been incredibly lucky. I've had friends who haven't survived lung transplants. Sometimes they don't work, do they? I think you have to have an element of luck on your side. With not just transplants, with a lot of things. You know, some of these people on the telly and in films and that, you know. How many people want to be, I don't know, a film star? How many people want to be a film star? You know, very unlikely you'll get to it. But with a little bit of luck on your side, then you'll get it. Same with transplants. I think it involves a little bit of luck as well. A very good friend of mine, I mean, she's going on about her 10 years here. At 3 months old, she got cystic fibrosis, along with the pancreas. It affects the lungs, liver, kidneys and intestine. Now, and there's a picture of her on all sorts of machines. I don't think you need to see that really. She suffered from breathing difficulties and frequent lung infections, which caused her to do coughing up of mucus, loads of pills, intravenous antibiotics, but she got worse and worse. And 16, she was in a wheelchair. And then she was lucky enough to have the lung transplants. But 10 years, how about if I told you one of my friends has had them a lot. I can't remember how long he's had them. I think he's on 20 years. His name's Andrew, and he is the country's longest surviving heart and lung transplant person. And I went to primary school with him. And here's the thing, Shania, he's an altar server, and he's been on that altar since about 9, when do we usually start? About 9, 10, something like that? Say 10. He's been on that altar since he was 10 years old, and he's 58 now. Maybe that's why he's still alive, I don't know. He spent a lot of time in the church. He's on all sorts of things, pills and that, for not rejecting organs and stuff like that. He's the longest surviving one. So I look at her and I think 10 years, well done, but, you know. But did you know with the organ donation, these days you are automatically assumed to be an organ donator. You don't have to carry around that card anymore. Some people don't know that. That changed some time ago. On the 20th of May, 2020 actually, the law around organ donation in England was changed to allow more people to save more lives. You have to opt out. You have to opt out now, which is not difficult to do. Look on the internet, there's a form to fill in and you can change your decision at any time. But if you want to like die and leave nothing to no one, you can do that if you still want. But now you have to opt out. You are already opted in. Now, I'm not exactly sure how exactly that works. I mean, when you die, can they just automatically take your little bits and pieces away? Or you die and then they say to your children, your parents, okay, so-and-so has died, we'd like to take his kidneys and give them to someone. Is that okay with you? Or do you no longer have any say in it? I'm never too keen about these things that automatically opt you in. I mean, you can understand it in this sort of circumstance, can't you? Certainly not when it comes to renewal of insurance fees and things like that. Isn't it? So there we are. So you are automatically opted in. We'll open up the phone line now if you want. Okay, there you go. 0208 144 3477 if you'd like to call into the show this evening. Would you like a free kebab? Who wants a free kebab? Who wants a free kebab? Well, I'm afraid the... where is it now? You've got to be young and not have had your COVID injections yet. Yes, you can get a free kebab. I think it's hilarious how they're trying to convince people to have this injection. Of course, a lot of people are on conspiracy theories about these injections. The anti-vaxxers, for example. And I've got to say, when you start throwing free things at people, you do have to ask yourself, perhaps, hang on a minute, why do they really want... Well, they want, in my mind, they want you to have these injections to save your life, okay? But you can understand these theories, these conspiracy theories sometimes, when they start throwing free offers at people to try and get them to have the injection, don't they? We'll read that in a moment. Hello to Charlie. Mum's fully recovered. Glad to hear that, darling. Glad to hear your mum's better, Charlie. And a very good evening to Paige as well. Good evening to you, Paige. By the way, a little bit later on in the show, you'll be able to have a raffle ticket, okay? That's a little bit later, not quite yet. I'll let you know when to ask for your raffle tickets. Yes, it's been all over the news today. This is the Daily Mail's take on it. Young adults will be lured. Not quite sure I like that word. Lured. I've just had a load of... messages drop in there. Might be a little bit of a delay for your messages coming in, so I'll go to those in a moment. Young adults will be lured into vaccinations. That's the wrong word to use, isn't it, eh? Young adults will be lured into vaccination centres with the promise of cut price taxes and takeaways. As Boris Johnson tries to tackle the relatively low take-up among the over 30s. Well, I mean... I think I know the reason for that is a lot of those are not the children, not little ones, right? The older people, sort of 18 to sort of 30, they think they're indestructible. I was the same. They think they're indestructible at that age, and it's not until something serious happens sometimes that people realise how delicately we all are, just hanging on a little thread, waiting for something to happen, and then push. We're gone. So he's trying to bribe them now with food. I might start knocking on doors with a few. Here, I got a ham sandwich. Here, you can have that, but you've got to come with me and go and get your injection. It's no use. I know the thoughts of some people are, oh, well, if they don't want it, let them die. Some people think like that. And if you do, you're very much mistaken. I mean, even if you don't care about that, the point is they can carry it and pass it on to someone else, even with the injection, as you well know. Remember, nothing's 100%. Nothing is 100%. What we have to do to protect ourselves from this damn virus is put as many barriers in place as we can in between that and us. And even that might not be enough, but it's got to be worth trying, isn't it? What barriers have you done? For myself, I constantly washing my hands, even at home. How do I know? I might have bought a bit of shopping and touched it and then put it back in. Then a few hours later, touched it again. Well, it's back then if I've washed my hands, haven't it? I wash my hands all the time, several times. How often? Once an hour? Easy. Once an hour. So I do that. I still wear my mask when I'm shopping. I try very hard to step away from people. Certainly don't want them this close to me. You know, I'm more sort of... I'm kind of here if I'm talking to you, you know. Definitely at the karaoke. If you were down there with us, you would have seen me sort of moving around. And I step back from people now. I step back from people, so I do that. The mask often comes out. I've got this little spray stuff up my nose called Viralese. Unfortunately, they've stopped selling it here. They say the health department said that Viralese had made some statements about its how it works with stopping coronavirus, and they're not quite sure whether or not that's true or not. So they've stopped selling it. I managed to get one bottle of it. DJ Chris uses the same thing, so we got that as well. Is that it? Unless I think there's something. Oh, and of course I've had my 2 injections as well. So I've got like but 4 or 5 barriers between that and me. Anti-vaxxers, they don't do anything. Don't do anything. But you can still pass it on, you see. That's the thing. The trouble is people read stuff on the internet and they believe it. They don't want to listen to scientists. Oh, it's all a big conspiracy. They don't want to listen to scientists. I mean, Chris Whitty. I mean, look at him. You know, what an intelligent man. Him and the fat bloke with the glasses. What's his name? He's a nice bloke. JVT, is it? JET? JVT? I mean, when they speak, I listen and I believe. I believe in every little rainbow fly. Anyway, so if you want some free food and you're a sort of a youngish person, sorry, not for you, Charlie, you're going to be too old for this, too young for this. You won't be getting no free pizzas, mate. You'll have to go down to your fridge and see what's in there. Uber, Deliveroo and Pizza Pilgrims are among the companies in discussion with the governments about offering incentives as part of the Jab 18 to 30 drive. So far, only 2/3 of people in that age bracket in England have received a first dose since they became eligible in June, compared to 88.4%. That's an achievement. Across all age groups, meaning more than 3 million 18 to